the power of coaching is like you literally can't sometimes you can't see the label on the outside of the bottle, right? Like you need somebody to hold that mirror to reflect that back to you so you can be like, oh, those are the patterns that are keeping me stuck here. Just like reflecting back to somebody, well, this is what I see, can be such a powerful healing. Like you can just catapult your healing if you can have somebody reflect that back to you.
Hey everyone. So, we already know how many people feel stuck in the limitations of conventional medicine, and that's exactly why I created Holistic Health with Melissa to take you on a journey from conventional to crunchy. Here, you'll get empowering wellness insights, practical tips, and faith centered strategies to help you feel your absolute best. In each episode, we'll dig into what true health and wellness really means. We'll dive into nutrition, lifestyle, mindset, and detox, all things so important to your health. And we'll chat about raising kids with intention and living life of faith. So join me to reclaim your energy, embrace your healthiest life, and find joy and purpose along the way.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Holistic Health with Melissa. I'm so excited for you to be here. Today is very special because I have a dear friend of mine and I can't wait to dive in. I have no idea where this conversation is going to go, but it's always a good time. So you are in for a real treat. I am so excited. Meghan Stimmel is a holistic psychotherapist, a motivational speaker, and expert in transformation. Meghan's unique understanding of the synergy and balance of the mind, heart, body, and spirit allows for an intimate and sacred journey to take place in the lives of her clients that allows them to come home to themselves, reclaim their voice, and expand into their full potential in this lifetime. Meghan has transformed and shifted from an alcoholic who spent 71 days in rehab to creating a six-figure brand, a business as a single mother. She is a living testimony and living proof that anything is possible. Meghan enjoys teaching on how she did this, but also loves to share her story as a way to inspire others and remind them that you can come back from anything. And if she can do it, you can too. I am so happy and honored to have you here, Meghan. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to talk to you.
This is so fun. And thank you for reading my bio. You know, it's so interesting when you're in this work. I change and shift all the time. So I'm like, man, I need to update that.
Yeah.
So cool. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, obviously, we're friends. We've known each other for a couple years now, just through business. And we've spoken many times and done collaborations and stuff. And you were like on the top of my list when I was like, okay, who do I need to get on the podcast? And it's been a long time coming. So hallelujah, praise the Lord. It is here.
It's all in God's beautiful divine timing. You know, it's like I used to get so bent out of shape when something didn't go my way, or if I had it on the schedule and it got postponed, like all those things. But now I'm in such this beautiful place of like, oh my God, it just wasn't meant to be that day. And something else gets replaced in that time slot, or I get time to like take a nap or like go water my flowers or whatever it is. So it's all perfect, and it's so cool that God brought us together. I remember when we met in Miami 2 years ago. Yeah, probably 2 years ago-ish. And we both had this same kind of energy about the work we wanted to do in the world. And we knew that it wasn't just one aspect of it's not just your mind, it's not just your body, it's not just there's so many aspects. And that's why I love the holistic healing route, because you're moving through all the parts of you and finding balance within them all. So you're not just healing one part. Like we're not just one part. There's so many parts of us.
Yeah.
And I think you really miss an opportunity to hear what the other part is saying if you just focus on something else. So I love that you bring all of the parts of the self together, just like I do in the work that you do in the world. So
Oh, thank you. I received that. That's such an honor for you to say that. Thank
Yeah.
you. I would love for you to start by just telling us, like, I know your story because we've talked about it, and it's such a powerful one. And I see God's goodness like through your life. Like, you are such a beautiful soul, and I can just see how He's touched your life. And I would love for you to share some of that with the audience.
I would love to share. Okay. And every time someone asks me to share, I'm like, okay, do I share the 5-minute version, the 10, the 20, the 30? So,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like put it in a really brief nutshell, because what you said at the end of my bio is, I really love to instill and empower not just women, I mean men too. I work with men too, but women especially, that you can come back from anything. I think so often we're chained down by shame and guilt, and not remembering that, if God asks you to walk through it, it's for a reason. And you don't see that until you get to the other side, right? And I'll get into that, but it's just remembering that the more that you share your story and the vulnerability that comes with that, it gives somebody else permission to share theirs and to heal and to free themselves. Right?
Yeah.
So, I think the main component and like where my story really started from was being in a marriage and in a relationship that was, we triggered each other because like we were exposing each other's wounds in that marriage, right? And and I have so much love for this person now. We've definitely moved through the hurt and the pain, and moved through forgiveness and all those things. But that was when I really felt like I wasn't where I was supposed to be. That I had created an entire life based on who I was pretending to be and not who I actually was.
Mm.
Right? And I mean, so many ways we do that. We don't want people to judge us. We don't like confrontation. We want to make other people happy, right? Like all those people pleasing things. This is what everyone thought I should do. Go to college, get married, have a baby, have a white picket fence, just stay at home. And that's what I thought was expected of me. And in traditional Sicilian Italian culture, which is what my ex-husband was, that's what was expected of me. Even though it wasn't said, I felt that, right? And I think that was just like the wound that was hit for me. And that's when I started drinking a little bit more. And that kind of helped me feel like I had something to say, that I could be confident in expressing my own wants, needs, desires, opinions, thoughts, ideas, emotions. I mean, all the things, right? It felt really good to be able to speak and like just speak, right? I didn't have any filter that I was drinking. I could be just so honest in detrimental ways sometimes, right? But that's when it really kind of started. I was like, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. This isn't feeling like something's wrong. And there's more depth to that story that I'll leave out. But when I got pregnant with my son and all of the craziness that came along with that, my son really inspired me to change my life, right? Going through really tough custody battles, drinking even more than I was before, losing control of my life, really. Because again, feeling I'm not where I'm supposed to be. God's really asking me to do something bigger with my life, but I can't crawl out of the hell that I'm in. So my son really inspired me to take responsibility for my future and become the mom that I wanted to become. And I went to rehab for 72 days. And that's pretty wild. Because what did I do? I burned my entire life to the ground, Melissa. All of it. My job, my townhome. I temporarily lost physical custody of Keegan because I was in rehab. And I had to fight like hell to get that back. But I started over. And I remember in those moments, Melissa, being so incredibly scared. I'm like, okay, this is gonna completely uproot my life. And it's almost like I could hear God in my ear saying, it's gonna be really hard, but you're gonna be okay. Like, it's gonna be better than okay. It's gonna be really hard, but like I'm right here. Like I have chills talking about that because I remember that moment. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm going to go. And it's so interesting now. And like the work that I do and the brand that I built based on transformation, mind, body, heart, spirit transformation, helping other people who've been through trauma, who have been, scared to use their voice, who have dimmed their light, right? Walking other people through what worked for me. And it's so cool to be able to do that now and recognize that I was exactly where I was supposed to be. That entire experience, because being in rehab for 72 days with people you have no idea. I mean, prostitutes, crack addicts. I saw a whole different world that I never had seen before, right? But I was meant to. I was meant to see all of that. And I remember even being there some days, Melissa, and I'm like, I am supposed to see this. I am meant to see. Because not only did it bring me back down to earth, but it humbled me. I was completely humbled. And so, yeah, I got out of rehab. I went and got my master's in social work, became a psychotherapist, created this whole mind, body, heart, spirit healing, became, a speaker, have my own podcast, like have my own business. I'm an amazing, present mom, all these things. They happened because I took a step in the unknown, and I had no idea where I was going, but I trusted God.
Yes.
Right? So that's my story in a nutshell. And I hope that was short/long enough, or whatever it was supposed to be. I trust that it's always perfect.
It was perfect. Yeah.
Thank you.
I just love your story, because I think the amount of trust that we've spoken about it before, and the amount of trust that you had, that you have to have when you're going through something so difficult, like losing custody of your son and being in rehab with drug addicts and stuff. That's the amount of trust that you had. And it's so courageous, because those moments are so pivotal in people's lives. People go through that kind of stuff and they don't come back.
Yeah.
They succumb to the grief and the despair and the brokenness and the pain, and you might go through rehab and then come out and just start back right with the same patterns. And you didn't. You took it by the horns and were like, no, I am doing exactly what I am supposed to be doing. And you just trusted God to lead you through that. And I resonate so much with that, because I feel like it's very similar to my own story, and similar and different in some ways, but just being able to trust God and step forward, okay, God, I don't know what it's going to look like, but I hear you saying that it's going to be better than ever. And I'm trusting that this is what I'm supposed to do. And I'm just going to take that one next step. I don't know what it's going to look like in a year or 5 years or 10 years or whatever, but I'm trusting right now in your provision, and I'm taking that step. And I love that so much.
Well, and that's such a great theme for life in general. And thank you so much for your kind words. It was almost like, to me, I didn't have a choice. I knew that I wasn't going to have a second chance, and I wanted to be around for Keegan forever. I wanted to be the best mom forever. So to me, it was like I didn't have a choice. That was my last choice. That was my last hope. That was my last savior moment. I wasn't getting another one. But it's such a great theme to take into the rest of your life. Sometimes you're in the weeds and you're in the trees and you're in the valley and you're like, God, I have no idea what the heck I'm doing here. But I trust you with my entire heart and soul, because I know that I'm here to do something. I'm here to do something. I'm not here to rot and to feel so completely defeated and sad and depressed. And I know I'm not meant to just feel like this forever.
Yeah.
And we don't trust the signals of our body. If I would have just trusted all the anxiety I was feeling, depression I was feeling, the insomnia. I remember I was prescribed Ambien for, I don't even know, a year, because I couldn't sleep. But again, back to what I was saying before, I knew I wasn't where I was supposed to be. And I ignored my soul, my heart, my spirit. I ignored it. And I took
using alcohol to numb that, right? Like
right.
you knew that intellectually and subconsciously, but like the alcohol tends to be like a mask. So you're like,
Totally.
oh, I can just pretend like this is not happening. I can stuff this over here and I can just numb my feelings and emotions, numb those fears and that knowing with alcohol. And then what do you know? I feel great until you come down off alcohol, right?
Yeah, and you just feel worse, right? And I think for me it was like I was blending in, I was fitting in, I was doing like what I was supposed to be doing, going to happy hours, going, mingling with my coworkers, like that was what I was supposed to do, right? But internally on a soul level, I'm like, God is calling me somewhere way different than this. But my channel wasn't clear at all. I couldn't hear or see God at all. I was drowning that out. And that's why sobriety is so important to me. And I think even just like the work that we do in the world, because that's how you're able to see and hear God more clearly.
Yeah, so good.
Right.
I don't think I know this part of your story, but how did you come to know the Lord?
Well, Melissa, I grew up, I went to Lutheran school until fourth grade. And then went to public school. I mean, we always went to church. Like I was baptized as a baby, but I don't know. I think it was just something that I did. Like I was supposed to do. Again, I'm in this like supposed to do thing. Like that's what I did. But it was never really something that was sinking in and hitting me then. I just went. But when I really came to know the Lord was when I was on my hands and knees over 6 years ago, making a decision like, am I going to save my life or am I going to die? And when God whispered that in my ear, like, it's going to be hard, but you're going to be okay. I remember this guy at the place where I ended up going, and I'm like, I can't go for that long. I can do this on my own, because we know we can't do it on our own. Like I needed God, right? I needed help and support, but I was still really shutting that out. And this guy there, he looks at me in the eye and he says, if you had leukemia and I told you in this moment, in 90 days, you could be treated and cured and well, would you come? Would you go? I'm like, yeah. He's like, so why are you having such a hard time saying yes to this? And I think about that. It's like instilled in my, like a photograph, because I think that was the first moment that I really felt God again in my life, like the purest version of God, like the depth of God. Like God's like, I'm gonna use this for something great. Like you are gonna become a beacon of hope for other people. Like I'm gonna cry. That's when I realized my life was really worth saving, I guess is how I would say it. Not only did I wanted to be the best mom in the world. I mean, that was my reason. But I think I felt in that moment that like I'm meant for something else.
And you said yes to yourself.
Well, in that moment, I said yes to my son, but like saying yes to myself, right? Because we know now that we can't even be good parents or, partners or whatever it is without feeling really strong here and really good here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was my turning point, really.
When you talk about like the synergy of the mind, heart, spirit, body, how do you, because I totally agree. It's so hard. You can't just pay attention to one piece of that. You have to pay attention to all of it. How do you integrate all of those elements into your practice and with your clients?
Okay, so this really started for me when I was healing after I had gotten sober, right? I'm healing my physical body. My body's coming back and I'm going to therapy, and it was helpful, right? I think therapy is a great tool. I needed something deeper than that, right? Like there was like a soul deep yearning and calling that like I just wasn't getting in traditional methods. And that's when I really leaned into different healing programs where I learned like, oh, wow, there are these other parts of you, and trauma is stored in the body too. And the heart is actually like super strong and powerful. And what's your connection to God and the Holy Spirit look like? Are you shutting God out completely? So, right? Like all these things that I started asking, and I'm like, wow, this isn't just about positive thoughts and reframing my words. I mean, sure, that again, helpful tools, but that's not it. That wasn't just it for me. I needed something so much deeper. And so I learned all these different things. And now when I'm working with clients, either one-on-one or, group setting, it's so important to help them tap into those things. Because a lot of times, for example, I'll get someone who's really analytical as a client, and they're just like trying so hard in their mind to like figure it out. And like, how do I figure it out? I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. And I'm like, you're not actually supposed to figure it out. How does it feel here? Right? What kind of feeling are you getting in your body right now? Where does this actually live? Maybe you just need to take action, right? There's a lot of other components of this journey. And sometimes the most important thing you can do is get out of your mind, right? So it's helping people tap into these maybe unknown parts of themselves. Maybe they've never tapped into their heart before. Maybe they've never listened to their body before. Maybe they've always been continuously suppressing and avoiding and pushing down. They don't even know what their body is asking for or needs. So it's a lot of really cool insights that, we're able to, and I know you do this too, really beautifully. Oh, and being able to incorporate not just the awareness, but like tactical tools. Like, even if it's just like, did you check in with your body today?
Yeah. Like so foreign to people.
Right. Yeah. And, I get asked to do segments on Fox 2 Detroit sometimes, which is really fun for me. But it's a great reminder, Melissa, that the world that we live in, it's like, who doesn't know about breath work or like, four squared breathing or relaxation techniques, like things that help you like, just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe for a second. Just hold it in. Feel all the air in your lungs, We live in this world, so it seems so like elementary to us. But when I share like a breathing technique or, something that will help you, calm your nervous system when you feel like you're about to have a panic attack, people are like, wow, that was so amazing. I had no idea. So sometimes it's just like the little things that we can incorporate to start building trust in our body and, creating that balance and connection to the other parts of ourselves. It doesn't have to be like one big thing. It's like small little things you can implement.
Yeah, love that. So when you like got out of rehab and you started your healing journey and now you have this business and you help everything, like everything's been perfect ever since then, right?
Is that a trick question? Been perfect.
No, just trying to get people to understand that like life is still life and
life is still life. And that's such a great point. Even as a business owner and entrepreneur, there's lulls in my business. I go up and down, right? It goes up and down. There'll be like a really great month where I'm like helping people and I'm like, this is so cool and this is so amazing. And then the next month, it's like God's asking me to listen and God's asking me to rest and God's asking me to birth something new into the world. And I need to be in the experiences that show me what that is and quiet enough to listen to what that is that He's asking to create through me. It's not always going to be like a rainbow and butterflies and a parade with fireworks and confetti.
Yeah.
But it's being able to recognize the ebbs and flows and be okay with rest, right? Like, what's your relationship like with rest? That's one I struggle with still. Always feeling like I'm going to lose something if I don't do something every single second of the day. And like, we get so running on autopilot that when we stop for a second, it's like, I should be doing something. I should be doing something. I can't just, when we don't remember that rest is actually a key component to creating and to healing and to connecting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just say that because I feel like people have this idea, like, at least in my experience, like when I talk to people, they're like, have this like false idea that like, oh, well, once I heal, then that's just like it. Then like I'm healed. And it's like, well, no. I wish that that was true, but it's not. Healing, first of all, is a lifelong journey. It never ends. And then also, like, life is still gonna life. There's still gonna be stressors and challenges. And, you know, I don't know, our kids are almost the same age, but like sometimes my kids don't listen and it really, you know, like triggers me and like, you know, and yeah, there's lulls and ebbs and flows in business, and you get sick or something, you know, like things happen, and it's really about like being able to continue on with those tools and those, you know, strategies that you've learned in those moments to help you manage those stressors rather than letting those stressors consume you and letting you just like spiral downward.
Yeah. I was teaching about this in one of my trainings last week. You know, there's no finish line, to your point. There's not a finish line with a medal, you know, maybe the day before you pass on to the pass on to heaven on the other side, right? Maybe that's the day. But like really there's no finish line. So to think that you're going to hire somebody and in 90 days you're gonna make it, you're gonna fix it, like this is it. Sure, you're going to improve and things are going to shift in your life in a positive way. Yes, but there's no finish line to it, right? It's up to you to take responsibility for utilizing the tools and resources you've learned, calling on your reinforcements, allowing people into your life to mentor, coach, and guide you because they've been through it. They've done it before, right? They've already maybe made it out of the trees of the chapter that you're in.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need that reminder, like it's going to be okay, you know?
Yeah.
You know what to do. You've got the things, you can implement them. That builds trust in yourself too, right?
Yeah.
That I can handle it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so that I love that you said that too. Like that's the power of coaching is like you literally can't sometimes you can't see the label on the outside of the bottle, right? Like you need somebody to hold that mirror to reflect that back to you so you can be like, "Oh, those are the patterns that are keeping me stuck here." Just like reflecting back to somebody, well, this is what I see, can be such a powerful healing. Like you can just catapult your healing if you can have somebody reflect that back to you. So I love that you brought that up. When you So like to the woman who's listening right now who is resonating with your story and hearing like, gosh, like maybe I'm using alcohol to soothe my emotions and numb my emotions. Maybe I'm don't know how to speak. I don't feel comfortable to speak my truth. I can't get out of my own way. I don't even know how to connect to myself. I feel frustrated and overwhelmed and stressed and all these things. What are like, I don't know, however many you want, like what's the top like one or two things? Like what does she do right now today to make that like shift, to start shifting? I mean, we talk about like even just like there's so many things you can do, right? You can do 1,000 things like health. I mean, get on Instagram. There's 50 million people that you could follow, and everybody's going to say something different and all the same things too. So like, but what we know for sure is that like just one small step in the right direction. Like if you change the degree of a plane is flying by 1 degree, you're going to wind up in a totally different place. So like, what can you do? What can she do right now today to change the trajectory of her life?
That's a great analogy, metaphor. I love that. You know, I think with anything, it could be drinking, it could be drugs, it could be sex, it could be, you know, the internet, it could be, I mean, food, it could be anything. There's so much shame around that, you know, like I suffered in silence for so long and people didn't know that I was struggling because alcohol is widely acceptable and socially acceptable, right? It's like releasing the shame behind what you're moving through, right? There's no shame in asking for help. There's nothing to feel guilty about, right? Like like we all have things that everyone has a story, okay? Everyone has things that they wish no one would see. So I think it's like accepting in those moments that, you know, you are meant to shine and fly and grow and evolve, and, you know, being so empowered in the things that you've been through instead of feeling so shameful about them. So number one, I'd say, like, start thinking about yourself in a different way. Start honoring your journey as something that you're meant to walk through, that God called you to walk through, instead of something that you're like, because to your point, most people don't come back from what I went through because of shame. So that would be the first thing. I think, you know, coaching and mentorship is so important. Those were the people that helped me realize that I was meant to share my story and do something beautiful in this world. They believed in me when I didn't, you know. And there's so many different levels, there's so many different things you can do. The minute that I shared my story and broke the shame around that, like I remember the moment I was in Utah at a retreat with some really beautiful people, and I broke that for me. And that's the minute that I started speaking my story and feeling empowered in who I've become. And I actually lead a really beautiful training on speaking, because this doesn't just, you know, isn't for somebody who's like, I want to be a speaker. It's for somebody who's like ready to really speak their dreams into reality and pray a really bold prayer, and, you know, to set boundaries up around their lives. So start with releasing shame, setting up boundaries. Like, what am I going to accept into my life, and how am I going to protect myself? Because not everyone has your best intentions at heart. Like, right? Like really realizing, like, I'm giving all of my energy to this one thing, or whatever it is, right? Just start reflecting on those things, getting to know yourself, deepening your relationship with yourself and with God. Because if you don't know yourself, if you don't know God, if you're not even open to that at all, it's going to be really hard for you to have faith in where you're going. Right?
So good.
I mean, these are questions that I ask people right off the rip. Do you have faith in something? I mean, I believe in God, right? That's my belief. But I don't even care right off the rip. Like, I just want people to believe in something, have faith in something. Eventually, you're going to get to where you need to go with that. But to actually have a higher perspective and faith that, like, I'm not alone in this. And there is God available for me. There is community. There are other people. The more you share, the more people are going to be able to connect with you. So just reflective things to deepen your relationship with yourself, I think, is the most important. Yeah.
I love that. That's so powerful, because so many people just don't even know. I was just talking to somebody earlier, on another recording, she was saying the same thing. Like, people don't even know how to experience themselves. Like, they're so busy monitoring themselves that they don't even know what their own existence and their own experience of their existence is. They don't even know how to, like, tune into what's going on. How does my body feel? What is my experience in this? We're just like on this constant, like,
yeah,
the rat wheel whatever those things are called.
The hamster wheel.
Hamster wheel. Yeah, there you go. Rat wheel.
We call it a rat wheel.
Yeah, same thing, right? Hamster, rat, who cares? Awesome. So much good stuff, Megan. If people, so why don't you tell us about your Speak program and how people can reach you?
Yeah, I feel so passionate about the work that I do. Like, literally, all I want to do is empower women to, like, just break the chains around their throat, right? And be able to just speak in a way that makes them feel so free, because they're not just doing it for themselves, they're doing it for their children and the people they love. And, like, you know, you don't even know whose life you're going to change by being in your gift, right? Before I do that, I just want to say, I got chills when you were talking about, like, all we do is monitor ourselves. Should I say this here? Should I not say this here? Is it going to be perceived in the way that I want? Are they judging me? Like, yeah. Right? And to be able to come out of that, and that's so much of the identity work that we do in Speak. And it's a 6-week accelerated container. It's all virtual. So if anywhere in the United States that you are, or the world, you're welcome to join. but it's so much identity work and feeling so confident in who you are, because, you know, we can say this now, like I can say this now, who cares what people say? But I remember a big portion of my life where I was always monitoring myself. But when you're so confident in, you know, you stand up taller and you've got your head held high and like, I know I'm here for a reason and for a purpose, and that my story is going to help somebody else, like reminding you that you are living testimony and that's meant to be shared. So we move through a lot of that identity work, like getting you prepared to, you know, speak from a more confident place in the workplace, in your family, and being able to establish boundaries. If you're looking to add a speaker to your bio, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs who feel like that's the next level in their career, is to be a speaker and share, you know, their unique medicine, their signature program, the work that they do, like share it with people and really impact in a bigger way. I call that like extension of God's kingdom. Like you've kind of been doing like the giving and receiving, you know, like you found a really good balance in that, and now you're ready to really extend and expand. You'll reach a lot more people at once, and it's really freeing. So we go through that. I mean, that's the end goal of the program, is you get to be a guest on my podcast and really solidify and claim this next era of your life through your voice. So, but yeah, people can contact me. I'm on Instagram at IamMKStim. And I'm sure you can put some of in the notes in the episode. I'll leave my email and website and all that good stuff too.
Yeah. Yep. I'll put it all in the show notes. You should all go find Meghan, join her speak program. And thank you so much for being here, Meghan.
Oh, Melissa, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that God brought us together in Miami. Do you know, and I'll just say this, I know we're wrapping up. I had no idea why I was supposed to be there. Okay. And I know you know this, but I walked into that room. I didn't know anybody. And I'm like, God just put me here, like dropped me out of the sky in this place. And the connection that I've made from just that weekend with you incredible women was so life changing and profound for me. So thank you for being there and for having me today.
Thank you for being there. Yes, I feel the same way. That was a pivotal moment in my life for sure.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. So thank you for having me, and you're always welcome on my show too. So thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Everybody, thank you for listening. If this episode resonated with you, if you found value in it, please share it with a friend and leave us a review so we can get the word out to other people, so we can continue this mission that God placed on our lives, and just share all the goodness. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to Holistic Health with Melissa. It is such an honor to have you here. If you found value in today's episode, would you share it with a friend who might need it too, and leave us a review? If you have questions or topic suggestions, reach out on social media or visit our website, holistichealthbymelissa.com, and take care. I'll catch you on the next episode.